Tell me, Doug, what today means for you, sitting down there and...
What CML means to me?
No, what today means, the 10-year
Oh.
anniversary.
Well, 10 years since it was officially approved by FDA. I can remember that 10 years ago. I can remember when they come out and said that it was the fastest cancer drug approval in history. And obviously I'm thankful that there is Gleevec. I've been on Gleevec long before it was approved, but that's okay because it's been an amazing 10 years. And I'm just thankful that I'm still here. And I'm here because of Gleevec.
Tell me about the day you were diagnosed.
Well, I started getting sick in September of '97. I have these memories, all these milestones. And by New Year's, I was so sick that I would be on the floor coughing, almost ready to pass out. I'd go to the doctor, and they treated me for all kinds of things, everywhere from a root canal to a prostate surgery to blah, blah. Nothing helped. Well, I finally went in one day and I told the doctor, this was in March of 1998. I said, I'm not leaving until you tell me what's wrong. He says, well, we could do a blood test. So that was about 2 or 3 in the afternoon. And about 6 o'clock that night, the phone rings. And it's my doctor, and he says, I hate to tell you this over the phone, but you've got leukemia. Your white counts are over 400,000 and so on, blah, so on. Oh. So then I went in on Monday morning to Providence, to Dr. Menashe, and they did a bone marrow test and told me I had CML, which of course didn't mean anything to me. He did say, however, the very first meeting, he says, if you're going to have CML, this is probably the best place in the world to have it. I said, well, what do you mean? He says, well, they've been doing some research up at OHSU that apparently is pretty promising. Oh, okay. So so they put me on interferon. And they kept upping the dose and upping the dose until finally I was giving myself several shots a day just to get enough interferon in. Terribly sick. Finally the doctor says, you know, this stuff's killing you faster than the leukemia. Why don't you just go home? But he did set me up with a meeting with Dr. Drucker. So in September of '98, excuse me, my son and I, who's a radiation oncologist, came up to meet Dr. Drucker. Mm-hmm. And I asked him what he thought about Dr. Drucker, and he was impressed. So anyway, in April of '99, I started taking STI 571, which is the little capsules. And that wasn't working for me. My white counts began going up, up, and they finally told me that if we can't fix you up in 2 weeks, we'll have to take you off the program. So anyhow, fortunately, they figured out what it was. There was some other stuff going on. And then Gleevec began working, or STI 571. My counts began to go normal. And it was over 12 years ago now, and my counts are still normal. And I'm really doing well.
Talk about the difference between that man who was bowled over by coughing, doubled over, and now today.
Oh, goodness. In a lot of ways, this whole process has been a real blessing. I know that sounds weird, but I think of all the fantastic things that I've gotten to see and do. My youngest son got married. He has 2 granddaughters. I'm going to get to see my one granddaughter graduate from law school on Sunday. There's been, I could sit all afternoon, all the wonderful things that have happened since 1998. It's my wife and I are going to have our 55th anniversary in August. we got to go on a in '98, the kids figured, well, we better all take a trip together. So all the kids and all the grandkids, we all went to Disney World for a week, because they figured, that's it, you know, we're not going to have Dad much longer. Well, I'm still here, I'm still doing good, and I'm just so thankful of all the people I've gotten to meet, the people I've gotten to talk to. In a lot of ways, it's been an amazing 12 years. A lot of blessings. I've gotten to meet a lot of people at OHSU, and people at Novartis. And I have to say too, I've been impressed with the people I've met at Novartis too. They've always been. They really seem like they're really caring people, and they really want to help their patients, and they've done a lot of things to make it more available to a lot of different people. I met a lot of people that way through CML Earth and some of those things.
So a lot of blessings.
I mean, I could fill a book, literally. I could literally fill a book, and it's only been. I look back to the 12 years, and the rest of I've crammed a whole lifetime into 12 years. And like I say, I've got my youngest, I got 2 young granddaughters, one's 10 and one's 7. I wouldn't even have met my wife, my daughter-in-law, my youngest son, thought, well, I better get married if I want my wife to see my dad, know my dad. He wasn't even going with anybody. Well, they got married in April, the same month I went on Gleevec. So every anniversary they have that, they celebrate their anniversary and they celebrate Gleevec. And I just can't say enough good words for the people here at OHSU and for Gleevec, and I'm still doing well. My counts are normal. And in fact, I'm doing so well, I've got a knee problem. I think I'm going to have my knee replaced so I can keep going. So
That's
I
fantastic.
just can't say how well I'm doing.
That's great. Good job.
No side effects, or minimal side effects.
Right.
The only problem I have is in the morning I have to be careful what I have for breakfast. Other than that, that's it.
Good deal.
And that's a pretty small, bothersome to have to worry about. This is what I have for breakfast.
All right.
I just can't say enough good things about OHSU and,
Well,
of course,
thank
Dr.
you.
Drucker and their program
He's a
here, and
pretty
all the
cool
people I've met.
guy. All right.
It's been a lot of fun.
Good.